Hello everyone. Since I wasn't able to do a review last month, I'm going to try to do 2 reviews this month, and I'm going to start this little thing I like to call a quick play, which is just going to be a short commentary on the game, but I'm going to do it in a different way than I would do a review. With a review, I try to stick more towards the facts, and with a quick play, I'm going to be talking more about my personal experience with the game. And some of my memories with these games. Now, this one in particular, I have a lot of nostalgia for, but at the same time, it doesn't really affect my view of the game. Oddly, even though I like this game more than I'm willing to admit. Okay, not that far, but yeah, I really like this game. But yeah. This was one of the first games I got for the GameCube, and but I kind of grouped it with the other ones I had back in the day, like Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and a lot of the games I grew up with, I grew to hate. So I stopped playing this, and I mean, for years, and I looked at this like it was crap for a long time. And I started playing more things like along the lines of Super Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, and all these, and a bunch of more well-known platformers. But then after that, I decided, what the hell, I have the time, I'm going to play this. And oddly enough, it was so much fun. In fact, I would say it was more fun the second time than it was the first time after. And this was so, I think that was mostly because I got more of an appreciation of what the 3D platformer genre was. And I think this game really just defines what makes a 3D platformer good. I would say it does that better than Mario does. I'm sorry, but that's what I think, and you might see why. As you can see, it has a map system, kind of pretty comparable to the one from Super Mario Bros. 3, except not as much, of course, but has a linear progression. And I think that actually works really well for this game. You can see what's coming up, and you anticipate it, and you have an idea of what your goal is, and you feel this progression. You have a better sense of progression than I think you do with the Mario 3 map system that so many games imitate. Well, including this, but still, it does it a bit differently, and it's welcome. But for people who like hub worlds more, don't worry, this has something very comparable to a hub world. Many people consider this to be the first level. I just consider it to be it's just an area for diversion. Yes, and this is the butt bounce. That cracked me up when I was little. I never thought I'd see a video game character slam his butt on the ground to it, and yeah, you can attack people. I was very immature back then, and quite frankly, I'm very immature now. Of course, this wouldn't be Pac-Man if it didn't have the good old power pellets, Pac Dots, and of course the ghosts. And of course the fruit. 870! Wow! I hardly did a thing. But yeah. Alright, I might as well start with the first real level, Canyon Chaos. Now, something I really like about this game is the sense of variety. I think this really has better variety than most other platformers I've played. The only exception I can really think of is Turrican 2. But, of course, on terms of variety, very little can even think of comparing to that. It's... Now, many people could see this as a combination of Mario 64, Sonic Adventure, and Crash Bandicoot. And I think that's a pretty accurate one. But it has its own elements too, and it stays true to its Pac-Man roots of Pac-Maniness. Of course, you can see this is a very cheery game. It's one of those games that really quickly gets you in a good mood. And yes, if you collect a Galaxian, you get transported to a maze reminiscent of the ones from the old Pac-Man games. In fact, you can change the camera angles so you can, so it looks even more like them, the old ones. Oh, and speaking of which, if you collect tokens in the game, you go to an arcade and you can play the old Pac-Man games there. I still haven't unlocked Miss Pac-Man though, because that costs so many freaking tokens. But that was really a nice touch, and that's how I was really exposed to Pac-Man when I was little. I'm not going to go through entire levels, just going to kind of try to demonstrate my points. And yeah. Now, the game also is just really exhilarating sometimes. Like here. Quite frankly, I think this is by far one of the best platform levels ever. At least in my opinion. In fact, I think this is just my favorite level in a platformer. It is just... It doesn't get much more fun than this. Ugh. So I was a bit distracted there. Of course, and the music is really good. Which surprised me when I played it the second time going in. I forgot how good the music was. I definitely recommend just listening to some tracks on YouTube. And while the stages themselves are relatively linear, there's a lot of outside exploration, mostly so you can get 100%, and this is a game that really kind of motivates you to get 100% in order to unlock more arcade games. I'm still trying to do. And, of course, it's just fun to do it nonetheless. The backtracking actually feels rewarding when you do it, like here. Which I really can't say about too many other games. But yeah. Alright. Of course, the boss fights are actually pretty cool, too. Most of them are in these giant robotic ghosts like this. The music here just is really epic. When I showed this to all of my friends, without showing them what it was from, people were like, "Is this from like a freaking war movie or something?" And it's like, I'm like, and then it's like they thought it was just, but yeah, and I showed them that it was from a Pac-Man game, and their jaws just dropped. I was a bit reckless there, but yeah. I might as well show you. I'm going to try showing you just one level from each of the worlds. And the one I'm going to play next is one of my favorites and a lot of other people's favorites too. Again, this game has a really good sense of variety. That was weird. Usually the camera isn't like that. if you like 3D platformers, even at all, you should like this game. It's really just amazing. I mean, can anyone else see why I like this more than Mario 64? Alright, I should stop there so I don't get sidetracked and it becomes just a commentary on that one level. Now I'm going to show you the boss in this one instead, just because it's so freaking brutal. This boss fight just haunts me to this day. Normally the game, it really isn't that hard. It's a pretty easy platformer, but this freaking boss fight, it makes, like, it's harder than a freaking Contra boss. Oh. It's... It starts off calm enough, but once it gets bad, oh my lord! And thankfully, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Time to turn up the heat. Oh, please don't. We're in a freaking volcano. We don't need to turn up the heat. Oh, thank God, I just barely missed that. Looks like he's going to do it anyway. Oh boy, here we go. Of course, it leaves, he leaves these smoke trails behind from both his projectiles and his engine, and they hurt you, and you run out of room pretty quickly. Please don't fall over. Oh, thank God. And you can't rev roll into him like you could the others, so that means you have to just wait for him to set down, which isn't as common as one would hope. Oh, there, speaking of which, there he goes. You're harder to fry than I thought. Oh boy, more puns. Please don't bring out the spread shots. Let's just say you really want to avoid his shots. If you don't, basically, the chances are you're gonna fly back into the lava. Just literally fly back into it if you're not too careful. Because probably you're going to run out of space and you're going to be jumping over the steam left behind, and oh crap. And if you do so, he'll probably catch you with one of his projectiles and send you flying into the lava, Castlevania style. It's... Well, I didn't show you how hard it gets. My God, it gets really freaking hard. Of course, a lot of people complain about underwater levels, especially in 3D platformers, but this has really freaking good water levels. Well, the third one is really monotonous, but otherwise, this is really, really good. Right into the bomb there. Oh, I'm going to have to try wrapping this up. My computer has 10% of battery left. I've been trying to get this sort of thing done. And this really blew my mind when I was little. I'm going to try putting my computer in a lower power state. because I think it's on, yeah, it's on high performance. That's why. Okay, but yeah, when I was little, I was really hyped for the final boss. I didn't know what it was going to be like, and I was just kept on trying to imagine what it'd be like, and nothing I came up with was as cool as um, what they have here. This isn't as hard as Clyde, but still just one of the best final boss fights I've ever played. Really climactic, too. That music just sends chills down my spine every time. And the point of this fight is to act quickly, because he'll set off these devastating attacks. Like he'll send meteors falling from the sky, and then next one he'll send fireballs after you. Then at the final phase, he screws up the controls, and you have to. And oftentimes they'll end you just running off the cliff, just running straight off the edge here. It's a really inventive final boss.